All right, everybody, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Geek Vice. Tonight we have very special guests, and of course, Kip and Morph, the most important people on this podcast. At least that's what we tell everybody. Anyway, here's your regular host, so you don't have to hear me anymore, Morph.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Geek Vice, episode number 98. Geek Vice, proving that any vice with enough geek in it becomes a virtue. Tonight we've got a plethora of people on board here. We've got the Prolific Games guys, John and Bill, and we also have the artist for their newly Kickstarter game. God, that came off way better in my head. Steve Robbins. Welcome, John, Bill, and Steve.
Yay!
Wow.
Oh,
You can tell this is his first time. He's really excited.
Yeah, he has probably never heard one of our shows before. Otherwise, he would have been running in the other direction.
He wouldn't be nearly as excited.
So we've really got to get this started off right because this will be, I believe, the third Kickstarter that we've had for John and Bill for Prolific Games on our podcast, and so we're going to go for the guarantee that this gets funded tonight. So everybody needs to go over to Kickstarter, search for Prolific Games. It'll be the first thing that pops up. Cultists and Cthulus, and they already have 102 backers with 16 days left to go, and they are just under $4,000 left to fund this thing. So let's see if we can't get it funded this week. How about that?
That would make me happy.
So, John, Bill, how do you guys want to start off? You guys want to tell us a little bit about this game?
Sure. Apparently not.
So a while back, John and I we started doing a bunch of cons with the Source Comics and Games when they go to all these different cons, and it was at the end of the first full season we did with them, I think, wasn't it? We were at
it was at Dragon Con. It was either I think it was the first Dragon Con we attended.
Yep.
Actually,
first Dragon Con, and we had been demoing and playing games all day. Got back to my cousin's house. They wanted to play poker, so we played poker with them. Then we went up to the room we were staying at, and he climbed in his bed, I climbed in mine, and we're laying there, and we're just exhausted. And they had been giving me crap for, God, I don't know, years about Haggis and Nessie.
Yeah.
And that I should design a game because we had Flapjacks and Sasquatches. So, hey, you should design Haggis and Nessie. And on the flight out there, the worst part was on the flight out there was like, John, I started designing Haggis and Nessie. And he's like, ha, ha, ha.
We would actually at Gen Con, when people would demo the game, we'd send them into the booth to buy it, tell them to make sure they said hi to Bill, and ask them how Haggis and Nessie's is coming, because it's our next game that's due.
So we, in our punch-drunk stupor, we're talking about all the, we could just do a whole line of these things where you have mythical monster and what it eats, right? Kobolds and, what was that, from Germany or something? Kobolds and sausages or something like that. And
I don't know. The old
Kobolds and Krauts.
there you go. And we're just going with all, we went down a list. And the funniest one was probably Whiskey and Leprechauns. Which is just a box with a shot glass in it and a six-sided die, and you roll. You take that many shots, and whoever sees the leprechaun first wins.
may or may not contain a leprechaun. Those little, are slippery. They're hard to find.
So then,
I got a really aggressive union.
We next day, we were demoing a bunch more games. And in the booth, we had there had to be at least 4 different Cthulhu games of varying
Cthulhu themed.
Goodness. Like, there were some that were pretty bad. Like, someone just slapped Cthulhu on it and was like, here you go. And we had people coming up that were like, oh, it's Cthulhu, I want it. Oh, it's Cthulhu, I want it. And we thought, man, it's an open license. We could do something with that, but what would Cthulhu eat? And so we put in Cultists. And then, we wanted to do some stuff with Flapjacks. We had some ideas for a couple different mechanics. Didn't want to change the game too much. So we kind of put it into Cultists and Cthulhu. That's why we have like the sacrifices in Cultists and Cthulhu. Because I don't know what I could come up with. Although I thought about this today, I was like, I'm going to have to tell this story. And I was like, what could I come up with that would have sacrificed to give you stuff on your tree? And I was like, you could have had dynamite. You could just blow the tree up. No, we're going Cultists and Cthulhu. So, and we wanted to do it. We wanted to give it the respect it deserved as Cthulhu. Like, we didn't want to like alienate the true fans. So we wanted some real Easter eggs and some real touches of Cthulhu, which Steve like has brought to this game, like, wholeheartedly. But we also wanted the prolific player, and so we really I think we meshed the two very well. So
awesome. Yeah, no, it looks great. It looks awesome. So did you guys have this kind of already in the works when you guys did your last Flapjacks and Sasquatches expansion, or is this something that just kind of came out of nowhere?
No, we probably have we try to have at least 3 or 4 going at a time, and choosing the ones that get farther along, because sometimes we'll design a game, and after a couple of playtests, John will look at me and go, "This sucks, dude. Stop."
I don't think I've ever used those exact words.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bill, I don't think that we can make something out of gold. More than the game would be worth. There's another game kind of like that.
Yeah.
And my playtesters don't want to play it anymore.
They want to be let out.
Right. So
when I get a weekly response to my Tuesday night game invites with "I'll play anything but," and it's one of our games they play tested, I know that's one we don't want to have. We're not going to continue developing.
Well, that's a good group of playtesters then.
In all honesty, though, that's only ever really happened with one game.
Yeah.
So.
And that's going to be the next Kickstarter.
No, that one is dead. That one we could not save. And then a game similar to it came out.
Well, hey, at least it wasn't you guys, right?
Well, it got good reviews.
Oh, knife in the back.
Right? But they must have worked out something that I couldn't work out. So,
Yeah. Hey, that works. Steve. So, Steve, this is the first time you've worked with Prolific Games, done the art for them. Tell us a little bit about how you got brought into this crazy group of guys.
Be nice. You still need to get paid.
Well, about 2 years ago. Oh yeah. Hey, I thought it was all not contingent on the Kickstarter. Whatever. About 2 years ago, I came up with a Kickstarter game called Adman, and that's AD-MAN exclamation point, and ran a successful Kickstarter. But I'd say that John filled a bit of a mentorship role in that. Helped. Sorry.
He's laughing.
Well, I consider it kind of a mentorship role. He helped say, like, here's how we did things, and here's some things that you should look out for. Oh, I see, it's a cat.
Yes.
Anyway,
my cat loves to be on the podcast for some reason.
Oh, what
it's
an
the
asshole.
only one who loves being on the podcast.
Well, anyway, John was familiar with my artwork, And then about earlier this year, what was it, about February or Marchish? John says, "Hey, let's talk." Exactly like that, uncharacteristically. He was twirling a fake mustache over his real mustache, and I probably should have run away, but I was intrigued because of the husky, dark cola brown voice that he was using.
And dark cola brown.
Yes.
I'm pretty
And
I've heard his voice on this podcast before. I aren't going to believe that at all.
well, I might legitimately be crazy. So anyway, he introduced me to Bill, and we hit it off. We talked. They liked my style of artwork from the game, but more importantly, one of the backer rewards that I had created for excess pledges was a little mini expansion of 10 cards, one of which was Cthulhu themed. So you had a Wilbur Whately, a deep one, Cthulhu himself or itself, excuse me. I'm blanking on it off the top of my head, but little icons of Cthulhu-ish glee. It was nice. So they said, "Hey, you know Cthulhu a lot more than we do, so let's go for it." And I said, "Yes, let's do it."
Honestly, Steve, I don't know if you know this. Bill and I had been, since we met and we discussed Adman, we watched that campaign. Bill and I had been looking at different ones of our projects that we thought would really match up with your style, and we just kind of felt like A, you were a Cthulhu guy, and B, we wanted it to still be humorous and a lot of fun, and we thought your style was just perfect for this. I think it's fantastic. I just laugh at a number of the cards still. I just like when I look at the images, I still laugh at them. So I
wish
think
we could have used. Oh, God, sorry.
No, I just think we were looking for the game that would match up with your style that we could work with you on, and it just took a while for us to get to that game.
Yeah. Well, no, it makes perfect sense because the last one, I'm blanking on it. I've Tricked Out Warrior wouldn't have worked, or Tricked Out Hero wouldn't have worked stylistically because I don't tend to draw that massive Boris Vallejo
the high fantasy
style.
Yeah.
Yeah, the high fantasy style.
No, it's great looking at the different cards that are on here for that are on as add-ons on the Kickstarter, and it's kind of surprising. Like I think the artwork for this one is so very similar to the Flapjacks and Sasquatch's artwork, just in style wise, and that's why I had to actually go look it up because I thought maybe Steve you had worked on the other ones as well because the style is so similar.
Well, that was deliberate because this is a variant on Flapjacks and Sasquatches. I wanted to mimic enough of it to kind of reminisce, but be a little different. So
awesome.
there's a few more POCs and people with glasses and a few women in there too, so that works out nice.
I gotta tell you, even looking like every time I look at the art, like John said, there are things that just make me giggle. In fact, I was looking through some of them, and I looked at the Brain Leech, which is one of our stretch goals.
That was a fun one.
And I looked at it, and I started laughing because I realized what it said on the jar. It says Abby on the jar for like the Abby normal.
Exactly.
Right? The young Frankenstein. I was like, it's funny because my daughter's name is Abby, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's Abby normal. Your name is Abby. Abby normal. Abby normal. Right.
That's awesome.
Are you telling me you gave me an abnormal brain?
There are some good Easter eggs in the art, and I don't know. I think it's great. So.
No, I just love that the foil helmet one that looks like the guy's playing a Game Boy from back in the 90s.
Right.
Well, if you look really closely, his right hand is covered in Cheeto dust. Because we all know you got to keep your left one clean.
So, I mean, I think the art worked really well. John and I had some vision for some of the cards, and then for some of the cards, we just went, "Hey, Steve, man, go with what you want." Like the Evil Awakens, the Cthulhu and the bunny slippers and the mug, is it John and I had held on to for like since we came up with this concept really a few years back.
It's one of my favorites.
We kind of held on to it, and I was able to just say, "Hey, this is what we're looking for," and Steve just captured it. I mean, that's why we put it on the mug too, because it's funny.
Yeah, no, that is great. That is awesome. So, did you have any challenges, any of you guys, did you have any challenges with trying to get this thing, I don't know, to get it up on Kickstarter, to get it completed enough that you could put it out here for all of us to enjoy?
For me,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think my video editing skills and video skills are not very good, and so that is always a struggle for me to get a decent video and a good video. And it was even more so this time because we were sort of under a time crunch. It was sort of self-imposed, but we needed to get this launched, mainly because what we're trying to avoid, and I'm not sure that we will, we were hoping to avoid Chinese New Year and the Christmas holidays in Hong Kong, which is where we manufacture, which can delay shipping by over a month. And so we were kind of under a time crunch where we needed it to get it up there fast. And there was, again, Steve had actually this amazing puppet he'd made.
I'm going to go get it.
At Gen Con. Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I'll go get it. I got it grabbed it in the garage.
He had mentioned using it really early in the video, and I thought that was a great idea, and then it slipped my mind when we got it under the crunch, and by the time we got the video going, he offered again. I realized we hadn't used it. So for me, that's just the general areas that aren't my technical expertise and trying to get them to work out and get all that going. That's the harder part at this point.
Right.
This is the fifth one, so some of it seems like, not to sound overly confident, but we kind of know what we're doing here, and so there's always the struggle of designing what do we think will be good add-ons that people will want, right? Because
right.
In reality, we needed to raise $15,000 to make this game, and to do that $25 at a time takes a lot of backers. So the struggle of what sort of add-ons will people be willing to pay for that we feel give them enough value for that gives us enough of a margin on them that we're still funding the core of the project versus producing add-ons. So nailing down that stuff is always a challenge, although Bill and I just sort of basically bounce it back for hours on end. Where one or the other went down until they agree with our idea. So, Bill, anything on your end? What do you think?
For me, and John handles a lot of the logistics stuff, and I come up with these great ideas, and he tries to make them a reality. For me, early on, John and I mean, we had talked, we had the idea for Cultists and Cthulus, and we were like, well, how close do we want to make it to Flapjacks? You know what I mean? Do we want a completely different game based around this idea, or do we want to kind of stay, because originally, for those of you listening to the podcast and hearing "wah," the Cthulhu puppet is now here.
Yeah, that is one hell of a puppet right there. Holy cow!
Right? Nice.
That is great.
And the fact that a lot of the video is entirely my fault because I completely spaced it in the time where we would have had time to use it. Right? That would have been so good. We should get the guy who knows what he's doing to do those videos.
Yeah,
right?
You need to do like an update video with that thing in there.
Right.
Totally. Maybe a gameplay video.
Yeah, when it's that'll boost you over the edge right there. You put that thing up there, and this thing will fund in minutes.
I hope. So anyway, trying to get over the idea that it was okay for me to go back to Flapjacks and say, hey, look, it's a great concept. I like the changes we're making and not trying to totally define it. and take everything out of there that was good. Because at one point I was trying to change it so much that the game wasn't going right. And so we went back to you know what? We want this to be as fun. We want that anybody can pick it up and play it and have fun. We want our hardcore gamers to be like, hey, this is a great game. End of the night, we're playing it, or start of the night. We want the Cthulhu fans to be like, wow, they actually have some Cthulhu stuff in here, so I can go like, this is cool because like, who would know that? Who would know this?
Right.
And we wanted our fans to see the humor, like the scented candles and the
Brony.
Yeah.
The brony.
The bro horse fan.
Right. Brony is actually copyrighted, which is ridiculous. But
Or my favorite, the LARPer sacrifice.
the LARPer
Bring us a virgin.
I actually prefer the sacrificial giraffe, but like this is all we could find, boss. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we're supposed to do it.
And honestly, for John and I mean, it started out like, we were gonna kind of play it off serious, but we then went, you know what? Here's the deal. Imagine that you're this cult leader, and you get all these guys that you're trying to, bring into your cult to summon one of the elder beings, and they're just all inept. You're like, give me some candles, and they bring you like a teddy bear and a heart, and you're like, what? What is this? And then, you're like standing around the cauldron, and you're like, okay, let me summon, and someone goes, they all start giggling. You're like, shut up, we're trying to summon something here. Shut up. So, we really wanted to go to the play of, and I was working on the final rules today. I was doing the flavor text at the beginning, and just to get the layout and stuff right. And I was working on the flavor text, and I put in there that so the opening line to it now is, as we all know, culting ain't easy. And then it goes from there to talk about how you got inept fathers, you can never find the right sacrifices, and if that isn't bad enough, there's an elder being breathing down your neck. So,
well, one thing I've observed is I do a lot of Cthulhu LARPing at Gen Con with a really great group called Elder Entertainment. They're phenomenal. If you see them at Gen Con, do their LARPs. They're phenomenal. A little plug there, if I may. But anyway,
no, you can't.
Oh no! Cut all that.
Too late.
Bill and
Luckily, our editor's lazy.
Lazy to edit it.
Well, what I'm getting at is that I've done a lot of Cthulhu LARPing, and I've noticed that the best Cthulhu LARPs are ones that don't take themselves too seriously. They have enough realization that what we're doing is kind of silly, but at the same time don't completely lose the edge,
Right.
So you can have, for example, somebody say, I want you to go out and bring me a whole bunch of new members. And a little later, oh shit, you brought me too many members. Why don't you go kill one of them?
So, Steve, what challenges did you run into with trying to make this artwork similar to Flapjack's, but still keep your own style to it, your own personality to it? What challenges did you run into in doing this?
Not much.
Besides John.
Yeah, besides working with John and Bill.
No, John and Bill have been great. I would say the challenge is mostly just remembering not to do my own style that much. In that, the thing about Flapjacks and Sasquatches is that the human characters are a little stiff. So making sure that I didn't make them too loose,
Right.
And, but at the same time keeping in that same style of Claire Lenga with nice clean colors, no gradients except for a few cases, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
I wouldn't say it's a challenge at all.
That is very cool, very cool. So we do have a few people listening live. If anyone else is listening live and would like to pose some questions, you are welcome to post them in the Q&A section, and we will get to them. Isabel Tori asks, so all of you guys are designing games? You design games from scratch? And we know John and Bill work together, so Steve, are you a professional game designer as well, or just is Adman just a one-off thing?
Adman has sort of become a one-off thing. I had done another Kickstarter for a game that teaches color theory, and that didn't go so well. I'm making a few tweaks. I might try again. Problem is that the initial rules were a little too much like Uno. I mean, I came up with it in a vacuum, not being from a family that grew up playing Uno, so I just thought I was being original.
You need one of me around because you can tell.
Oh, of course.
I tell the Bill that game already exists, dude. It's called.
Well, you could make the argument there are a few differences, but the core structure was a little too much like Uno. So I'm trying to figure out a new method. I might do another Kickstarter, but probably not. My fiance probably wouldn't appreciate it.
And to be honest, you know, the percentage of games that fail is greater than the percentage that succeeds. It's not an uncommon thing.
No, not at all.
There are a number of them that cancel it early so that they can come back with a redone one, and come back at it fresh and come back at it new. That's a very common phenomenon, actually. I think it's probably better than letting it go to the end and dying. Because people give up on it. Yeah, it happens.
And you always hear about the slumps too, and the beginning and end kicks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I would say, just going back to all of us designing, Bill does the vast majority of the design for us. Way upwards of 90%. And what I do is he throws ideas at me, and I tell him which ones suck and which ones I like. We go from there. The vast majority of it is Bill coming up with really great ideas for games.
Well, if you can take critique, then that's 98% of the challenge.
So the funniest thing is, one of the ones I'm working on now, I called John the other day, and I was like, look, okay, here's where I'm stuck. And I start talking to him, and I swear to God, I talked for 20 minutes straight, and John didn't say a word, and by the end of it, I was like, yep, that's right. That's the way we do it. Good job, man. And John's like, I just like talked to the circle of like, well, if we did something like this, but that would be, but if we did this, and then, oh, there we go, yeah, good job, man. And John's like, good job.
Sometimes I just gotta get out of the way because he's on a roll, you know.
Well, and that's a good partnership. Be able to know when you or just need to sit there and let him go on his rants, and we do that with our other podcasts. We do with Bill Geek Fecta. We just kind of let him talk, and the rest of us just sit there, and then eventually he stops talking, and then we can talk. But
I know how my students feel. Oh my God, Slinger's on a roll. In fact, last week we started, because it's a social emotional thing, and we're talking about just your character and stuff, and we were talking about the CNN heroes that from last year, and the new ones will be coming up this Thursday. And so we're doing all this stuff, and we're talking about how what's good character, what's bad character, and how like adversity kind of will bring it out of you. And so today we started watching Soul Surfer, the girl that got her arm bit off by the shark. And I'm like, so guys, just sit back. The next 2 days, you just sit and enjoy. But really think about, what she went through and how hard it was for her and stuff. And I said, and seriously, if you guys start talking and not watching the movie, I'm just going to get up here and lecture, and I will. Guys, quiet.
Dad! Quiet!
Right.
But, quiet! I gotta go to the bathroom! Quiet! Oh.
So I just put up under our stretch goals the picture of the Cthulhu Kung Fu front. And I kind of wanted to talk about it. So a while back, well, not even that long back, I was reading an article, and these people were asking for postcard-style games, like something you could play on a postcard. And the idea intrigued me, and it was a little bit more than a postcard. I designed it, And I thought about submitting it, and I was like, no, this is good. I like this. And the reason I say it's a little more than a postcard, you have a center mat or card or whatever you want to call it, but you also have tokens that go along with it that allow you to flip it, rotate it, and all that stuff. And you're drawing them out of a cup, and you're choosing which one you want to use. And really all it is a smack fight on each other, you know? Choosing who you want to hit, making sure, like, because you don't get to, like, pick it up, look at it, and go, what's on the other side of this again? What am I going to land on? You have to try to kind of remember what's on that other side. And so, like, when you play something, it'll tell you to either rotate it or flip it and rotate it or just flip it one of the long way or the short way. And so some of it is you might have you have two tokens because you have one and then you draw one, and you look at them and you go, okay, I could rotate it and maybe just do 2 damage, or I could flip it the long way, and then I'll get something else. What's on the other side? I don't remember. And so, you might just slap it down, flip it over, and go, oh, I should have went the other way. Or you might be like, oh yes, I'm gonna kill you because I rule. So we really envisioned it as just like a super quick, like, hey, let's just pull this out while we're eating lunch type game, because you can just set it on the table and just play it as you're eating your sandwich and stuff. And I think you could play it in probably like 15 minutes. It's a super short, like micro style game. I'm kind of proud of the design. I mean, I know people look at it and go, well, I mean, it's simplistic in form, but it's so. This is going to sound arrogant if I start saying this. It is simplistic in form, but I think it's very elegant in that simplicity. So.
Yeah.
Well, and that's not uncommon. I mean, you could say
being
that.
Arrogant? No, you're right. It's not that uncommon.
No, that's extremely normal. But just the simplicity. I mean, I would even say that that's one of the reasons why Flapjacks and Sasquatches is so popular amongst the people that I play games with, is because it's not overly complicated. It's not something that you sit down and you start playing it and you're like, oh, what do I need to do here? And oh, how do I do this? You can just literally pick up the game. You can teach these people how to play it in minutes, and
within 15 minutes they're trash talking.
Yeah, exactly. And I will vouch for that.
That happens about the 5-minute mark usually, actually.
If John's demoing it for you, it happens within the minute mark.
Oh, it was great. I was playing against in a randomly selected group at the Bake Off last year, and was paired up against John's daughter, and immediately was like, oh, I hate your guts, guy I don't even know. And I'm like, hey, what the hell? I'm just being
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
She was vicious, but what was even funnier is her little friend. At one point, she keeps pounding me and pounding me and pounding me and pounding me. And at one point, I say, you know what? I hope you go to a school of your choice and succeed in a STEM program, and then if you choose to get married, you meet someone who respects you for your mind and your body. And she just looked at me like, I hate your guts. And it's like, oh, she was so caught up in the moment that she didn't realize I was actually complimenting her.
She's actually cloned. That's why it didn't fall very far from the tree.
Well, it wasn't your daughter. It was somebody else.
But I want to make 2 quick points. One, Bill said he designed a postcard game that's larger than a postcard, includes tokens and dice.
Quiet you.
And something to track your life points. The rest of the world gets to understand my point where I'm at sometimes. Like, I got this great idea. It's really simple. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Own life points, and we'll give you the PDF of the tokens. God, never hear the end of it.
My second point, when you were talking about how your friends love it and how quick it is to learn, I was talking to a friend of ours the other day, and we were talking about how, and typically game reviewers are not thrilled with our games. They're just not. they're not gamer games. We're fun, we're light, we're fast. And he said that's your tagline. It's reviewers hate us, gamers love us. And I'm kind of like, it's kind of true. So this guy works in a store and he sells flapjacks hand over fist, and and he's like, people love the game, dude. I don't care what the reviewers say. And to some extent, it's true, Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the things that flapjacks has going for us, it spans a huge. So I Tabletop is taking submissions again for their season 4. So I submitted our game, and as I was writing it, because it says on there what's the mechanic, what's the age range. When I got to age range, I said, or what age is it geared for? I said, well, we don't really have an age it's geared for. In fact, when we had our world championship, which had about 50 people, we had everything from 7 to 50 something. I mean, it's not set. And I think what's really cool about it is, a gamer will buy it, play it, and go, wow, this is really fun. And then go, you know what? I'm going home for Thanksgiving, and I'm going to play with my family. And my aunts and uncles like it, and then they go, hey, we need to get one of these for the cabin. And so then they get it. I mean, we had one of the guys we know that's now become a friend, but originally started off as a fan. Matt White had bought, I don't know how many games, and would give it to, be like, oh yeah, you'd keep that one, I'll get another. And would just give it to someone because they liked it.
I know it's a minimum of 6. I think it might be closer to 10 copies he actually bought. And
right. I mean, and our fans really like it. We don't have halfway fans. We have guys that bring speakers and their phone, so when someone plays a Cottonwood Tree, they can hit the button and Cotton Eye Joe plays. And it annoys the surrounding 10 feet of game tables at Gen Con.
Most of which were taken up by bronies.
No, the My Little Pony guys hated our people. So that's an evil laugh.
I'm just picturing that. It's like, hey, come on, guys, we're trying to take it seriously. It's a fun game here, and you're just ruining it. Oh, my wife.
Seriously, that's awesome.
Our enjoyment and fun was ruining their My Little Pony collectible card gameplay. Right, that's what was happening.
Right. And we're hoping that to some degree this breaches the Cthulhu stuff. You might have someone who's really hardcore into Cthulhu, and they have friends that maybe aren't, right? And they're like, hey, look, let's play a game. I want to play a Cthulhu game. I'm going to try to work you up to Arkham Horror, but I'm going to start you with this. So at least you see some of the Elder Gods, or you see some of the terminology that goes along with Cthulhu. Maybe. Right. Plus we wanted to throw in jokes there, hating on Twilight and stuff.
Or an example would be one of the special cards would be Azathoth, and he's wearing a nightcap and clutching a teddy bear. Now you might say, okay, that's cute, I guess. I don't get it. But somebody might be like, oh my God, they totally talked about the center of the universe, and if he wakes up, we're all gonna die.
Exactly like that, too.
Exactly like that.
So, I mean, I think it'll bridge that gap, and I think it'll be fun for people. So.
You know what?
Go ahead. Sorry, I was going to say, shockingly, that's one of our motivations when making games is that people have fun playing them.
How dare we?
Honestly, in modern gaming, that's not necessarily what people design the games for. They design to be
clever.
Well, brain burners and difficult puzzles and and they
want their
true dungeon adventures
farming to feel like 16th century farming.
Yep. Not that I don't play all those games and love them. I'm just saying our games are games designed where people are going to be laughing and joking and having conversations and sitting across the table from people they enjoy, and hopefully, I guess not always, and have a good time.
Well, at least enjoy at the beginning of our game.
Yeah.
Well, I find when I have a game night, we usually bring that one out as the warm-up game, and then like 3 hours later, we're like, maybe we should go ahead and play something else. So it pretty much just dominates because one game will go by really fast, and somebody gets their 21 points, and nobody else even chopped one tree down, and it's like, oh, this will not stand. We got to play again, and the outcome is always different, and it's always to the point where like, I almost had it. Let's play again. I got you guys this time. And, yeah, so tribute to you guys on that because I bought the game, honestly, only so you would get funded so you would turn out Tricked Out Hero. and it ends up being we probably play Flapjacks and Sasquatches 10 times more often than we do Tricked Out Hero. And that's not a slam on Tricked Out Hero because I love that game.
Yeah.
That's the game that comes to the table all the time is Flapjacks and Sasquatches.
Right. Well, and I know Morph has been playing with his kids and his wife.
Yep.
Has she become bitter and destructive now that she plays that game?
Well, she's always been bitter and destructive.
Wait. You didn't go like this.
No, I know she's asleep. It's okay. She was asleep before I came down here. So
You know she's asleep.
Wait,
Then who's that behind you?
Da da da. Oh, poor Morph.
Yeah. No, she's one of those that trash talking comes natural to her. So playing Flapjacks and Sasquatches is perfect for her. It just fits right in line. But you had made the comment about, at the Bacon Off, at the Bacon Belt Championships, you have everyone from the age of 7 to 50. I say I can one-up you there because my son is 6 and absolutely loves playing this game. And not only does he play it with me and my wife, he now plays it with the neighbor kids. The neighbor kids come over and they wanted to play a game, and my son Reese was like, let's play Flapjacks and Sasquatches. And so it was a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and 11-year-old, and the 6-year-old was teaching them how to play.
Aww.
So, that's how easy it is to pick up your games and play, and that's what makes it great. And that's what I really think, hey, if you can do it with Flapjacks and Sasquatches, and Cultists and Cthulhu is very similar concept, and you made it that way on purpose, then it's going to be the same way too. This is going to be a game that's going to be perfect for anyone to pick up, fans of Cthulhu or not. I will be backing this game. Kip, I'm pretty sure, already has backed it because he does everything like instantaneously.
Because he can't help himself.
Yeah. he has this condition.
That's a good addiction.
Yeah.
We rely on him.
Exactly.
Don't seek help. That's a good thing.
So, let's try to boost this thing up and get this thing funded. We're going to be posting about this a lot on our blog and on our Facebook page and on Twitter and everywhere else that Geek Vice holds a little corner of the world. And by little corner, I mean it's like tiny.
Tiny, very tiny.
Yeah, everything helps.
The interesting thing is every little bit with a Kickstarter really does help, especially if it is a personal recommendation like you guys do. We are very grateful for it because hearing someone else, like hearing us tell other people that they should back our Kickstarter and we think it's a great game, they go, well, duh. Yeah, of course you do. You're the ones who are making it. But hearing people like you guys do it really does add a lot more to it. It has a lot more weight than it does coming from us. And that's really our goal, is to get other people to promote the game. And that's not because we don't want to promote it ourselves, but because promotion from other people, from our fans, carries a lot more weight than it does coming from us.
Sure. Completely agree.
Well, I also think it's good to point out that when we do our add-ons and stuff, we try to come up with stuff that legitimately is cool. You know what I mean? We don't want anyone to go, that was dumb. I didn't like that. And so we have the mug, which our Sasquatch was a huge hit. So we decided to do another one, and I think that image is amazing. John giggles every time he sees it.
Yes, I do.
And I don't know if it's easier not to tell the dice, but aluminum dice are at that price are amazing. Like you look most places, like standard just 1 through 6 pips or numbers for 5 aluminum dice are at least $35-$40. So you can see John holding them up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And I also like, I want to point out here, everyone needs to go visit the Kickstarter page. Also look through all the add-ons, because you guys have all your previous games on there as add-ons as well, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, that was actually a backer suggestion, and there was no reason not to do it. Yeah, so we're hoping some people take us up on it.
Well, you're gonna have me take you up on it, because when I back this, I'm going to be getting the Hirelings game, because that is actually I think that's the only game that you guys make that I don't own.
Real fun time. Good for kids.
And I've heard it's a great family game, so I'm gonna try to I've got my wife and kids hooked on Flapjacks and Sasquatches. I think the next one will be Hirelings, and then if I really am ambitious, I'm gonna get them into Tricked Out Hero. So, one step at a time, though.
Maybe a little older than the 6-year-old, though.
Probably, but by the time I get there, because realistically, I am trying to force feed gaming to a group of people who, now my sons are big, they love playing board games, they're all good with it. My wife's idea of a board game is playing Uno. So, yeah, I'm slowly pushing her in the right direction.
Well, I'm glad we can corrupt her soul with you.
As long as she doesn't play Monopoly, that's okay.
No, she can't. No, she refuses to play Monopoly because she can't finish the game.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I enjoy playing Monopoly usually because I win. Because I'm the only one that'll last long enough to the end. And everyone else is like, I give up. Here, just take all my money.
Take my happiness. Take my youth. Take my innocence. Hope you're happy now. More.
So, all right, guys, we will wrap it up there. Make sure you guys go to Kickstarter and search for Prolific Games. It'll be the first thing that comes up there. Cultists and Cthulhu. Also, you can follow them. Where can they follow you guys the most? Where's the best place to follow Prolific Games?
Right outside their house.
No, that's a bad place. That means Minnesota. It's cold up here.
Not quite yet.
Not yet.
On Twitter, it's @Prolific Games.
There's a Prolific Games Facebook page.
There you go.
You can come see us at tons of different conventions.
Yeah.
Or Gen Con, maybe San Diego Comic-Con next year, maybe Dragon Con next year. We did all those this year. We'll see about next year. Con of the North, we're hold our World Championships February here in Minnesota. Con of the North, it's, in my opinion, the best little gaming convention out there. It's a blast. Gary Con, I hope, again this year, Bill, don't you think?
Well, yeah, I already told him we were coming, so we're coming.
Have we heard back from them, though? That's what I want to know.
I think so. I think so.
Just pledge $25.
What's that?
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
Well, you've actually gained 2 backers because you were I think you were at 101 when we started this podcast. So.
Woohoo!
Love it.
And now you're up to 103. Steve, where can people find out all your stuff?
All the listeners join. We'll be at 107.
Where are we now? 1 sec. I'll plug myself in just 1 sec. I want to see the very lovely.
The Kickstarter.
Pull it up really quick. You can find me at www.steverobinsart.com. That website again is www.steverobinsart.com. That's ROBBINS.
Beautiful. And I made sure not to talk over that so that stayed on the big picture the longest. So that is awesome.
That's right, all you game developers out there. Pay him to draw your games so we don't have to pay him to draw ours. He can all of it.
Love me. Love me. Make me grow larger with food. By food, I mean money.
Yeah, exactly. No, food. They're going to start paying you in Taco Bell.
Oh, Chipotle. It's organic.
Yes, but Taco Bell's cheaper.
Oh. Well, yeah, I guess in cost-benefit analysis, you really got to look at the little things.
We could at least do Taco John's. I mean,
There you go.
Yeah, the closest one's in Roseville for me. I don't know. That would be out of the suburb of St. Paul. That might be a little too
John, where's the closest one for you?
What?
Where's the closest one for you, John?
I don't know. 75, 80 miles away, I don't know.
Down the street.
Well, we'll
Where's
figure
the
it
closest Bravos?
This might be. This is a little too dry and a little too technical, so we'll discuss this off the air.
Well, thanks guys for coming on. We really appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck with funding your goal, funding your wonderful game. And we will have to have you guys on again to talk about the next one. So there you go. I tell you, man, we're racking it up for you. This is gonna happen.
This is wonderful.
Well, thank you guys for having us. We really do appreciate it, and it's fun.
Yeah.
That part.
So, thanks everybody for listening to our ramblings. Again, you can check us out at geekvice.blogspot.com. You can also follow us on Google Plus and Facebook. Just search for Geek Vice. You can follow Kip on Twitter at Kip Killigan. You can follow me on Twitter at Geek Vice. And if you guys have any questions that you want to get to these guys, you can email us at geekvice@gmail.com and we will forward it on to them. You can also post on their or post questions up on their Kickstarter page after you fund it. So, or after you back it. That's what I was looking for. After you back it. So.
Or they could fund it. It's up to them.
Or you could just they're only about, $4,409 short. So just, one of those rich followers we got is just going to...
Morph, let me break in real quick and just say that people who back this project are super sexy to the members of the opposite sex who you're attracted to. It'll make you ooze charisma and pure erotic machismo, or whatever the female equivalent of machismo is. Back this project, and it'll be like being on the cover of GQ in a really fancy suit, or on the cover of Elle in a really, really pretty, whatever the female equivalent of a suit is.
Prolific Games does not support any of these claims that Steve Robbins has made, but we do money.
But they secretly believe every single one of them.
I'm trying to back right now just because of
it. Yeah.
Bill's hoping this will lead to an interesting night for him.
Oh my goodness.
He's been looking for a +1 to charisma.
Super plus modifier.
That is awesome. Oh, well done.
Thank you. +1 is 0.
Oh man. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Later.